Hello there. Today, let us look at alphabetical combinations. But before that, let me respond to two questions. One is a very general and common, and the other is specific to the last presentation on phonemes. The first question, where can we find this book? This book at the moment is only available in Nairobi at the Shrine of the Apostles of Jesus. As it was said, it was produced last June by the Maximilian Kolbe Press, Limuru, Nairobi, Kenya. But just as its production was successful, came the COVID-19 lockdown, and so it made its transportation to Uganda and particularly to Arua a little bit difficult. And so at the moment, we are hoping that very soon the border will be open and the book will find its way to Uganda and ultimately Arua. But for the time being, let us just have some few snippets about the book here and there. Second is the specific question about the tone that was used as a background in the last presentation about the phonemes. On the background, we used a tone. So the question has been, why use a tone? Here is the reason. First of all, that tone is not a very ordinary tone. By that, we are not meaning that the person who was buried there or placed in that tomb is a superhuman figure or extraordinary Lobara hero ancestor. No. The reason is deeply historical and it reflects very rich history of Lobara. To use the proper term for that tomb, it is pyramid. In fact, apart from South Sudan, or let's say Sudan, the only considerable non-pyramid in Uganda and let's say the whole of East Africa is that pyramid known as the Alikwa Pyramid, which was constructed by King Leopold II of Belgium, who by then had Congo Free State as his personal property, to which West Nile by then belonged before its eventual annexation by the British East Africa in 1914, so as to secure a complete foothold of the Nile Crescent all the way from Egypt to Lake Victoria. This, of course, would have happened after threats of military confrontation and diplomatic negotiations involving France, who by then had the Congo under their protection, to which the Lobara land as a part of southern Ladu enclave belonged. So the placing of the Alikwa Pyramid in that background of that snippet is by design. If you happen to have known about it or you happen not to have known about it, you can visit it now that you know it as a local tourism for the natives or national and international tourism for the non-natives. It's a very amazing thing. It looks small but historically pregnant. Now let us go to the sub-theme of today, which is alphabetical combinations. Under it we shall have four minor themes. 1. Vowel combinations. 2. Consonant-vowel combinations. 3. Consonant-vowel combinations. And 4. Combined vowel sounds. That said, dear listener, let's get back to the theme of today, alphabetical combinations. This is all about the putting together of the alphabets in order to produce sounds which make a word so that there is a meaning. Before we look into each combination, let us see three key points that are general when dealing with logarithmic combinations. 1. Dear listener, in logarithmy, certain alphabets, especially some vowels, alone by themselves constitute words. For instance, vowel A can be a noun pronounced as a stomach. It can also be a verb when pronounced as a. For instance, Aamvubo, he, she has dug or cultivated. A can also be a postposition or proposition. For instance, Anya for inside it or Taunia. In these two cases, the A that ends the word constitutes a proposition, or better for Lubara, known as postposition. Another vowel alone which constitutes a word is A when pronounced as A. Yes. Mimutauniara E. Mamura. Will you go to town? Yes, I will go. For our last example, let us have the vowel O. There are very many, but we just pick this. O can constitute a vowel. For instance, O from the infinitive ozu, to do, to accomplish, which some dialects pronounce yozu or aziribo. He, she has done the work. Dear listener, therefore, it can be seen that in certain cases, the vowels alone, without combination with any other vowel or any other consonant, stand as words. They can be nouns, verbs, postpositions, adjectives, different parts of speech. 2. In Lubarati alphabetical combinations, there are no vowel and consonant combinations termed as closed syllables, as can be found in many world languages. For instance, English, Latin, Italian, Spanish, or French. Let us look at examples in some of these languages. 1. English. In English, you can find words like at, up, is, on, or, of, it, of, and. Again, in Latin, you can find words like est, ad, et, ex, in. These words start with vowel and end with consonant. But in Lubarati, there is no single word you will ever get that starts with a vowel and ends with a consonant, termed grammatically as closed syllables. And the last thing to note, dear listener, in Lubarati syllabic combinations is that the language does not have any exclusive consonant and consonant combinations. That means in Lubarati you will not get any single word that is composed of consonants alone without a vowel or vowels. Maybe one can only find them in abbreviations, but abbreviations in themselves as such are not single words. Yet in other languages, like those we have cited before, examples of such words are very many. For instance, in English, you will get words like cry, lymph, try, buy, nymph, linux, fly, dry. There are very many words which have consonants minus vowels. Never such a thing in Lubarati. Let us now see these Lubarati combinations. 1. Vowel combinations. Examples are e, salt, e, response, answer, e for wife, u, chicken, fowl, dwell, live, stay, e, believe, faith, accept, eo, morning sun rays, ua, hornbill, wild dog, yawning, au, cry, no, no, yes, opposite side of a river, valley, or road. These words are combinations of vowel and vowel, no consonants. And you will realize two things. 1. Most of these words have as the initials. 2. Most of these words have glottal stop. Next, let us see consonant vowel combinations. These are the types of words that have double or triple consonants followed by vowels. And in Lubarati, they are divided in two types. We have simple combinations and complex combinations. Simple combinations. Simple combinations are the commonest in Lubarati. These are combinations that involve consonant and consonant without taking the combinations that is termed as complex. They constitute about 97% of Lubarati combinations. And for easy understanding, one can put on one side those which involve different consonants, and on another side those which involve same consonants. Let us begin with those which involve different consonants. Most of our names and other Lubarati words take these kind of combinations. For instance, Drani, masculine name; Draro, feminine name; Adramanaka, night ja; Ngoko, back; Ombizoko, lake, sea or ocean; Dile, emissary, middleman, leader; Enyao, a tributary of River Nile; Olufe, mingling stick; Mbela, palm oil; Benyiki, particular resting spot; Kita, completely. Now let us see those of same consonants. Ofaka, a sub-county in Arua; Vora, a county in Arua; Ofude, a parish in Maracha; Ada, real, true; Etopi, liberator, savior; Dora, a type of sorghum; Olopi, a preacher, a catechist; Olufe, a bridge on Arua Maracha Road; Owafa, trading center, Oluko sub-county; Ora, a bridge in Vora; Aivu, sub-county, Arua; Jila, a parish in Omugo sub-county. one interesting thing about these words which involve same consonants. The reason as to why they have same or double consonants is not phonetically clear nearly in all of them. Some appear clearer, some never clear. For instance, let us take Olufe, mingling stick, and Olufe, the bridge. One, the mingling stick, is written with a single F, and the other, which is the bridge, is written with double F. Why? Or let us compare Ofune with Ofunarwa, the ancestress to one of the legendary or heroic Lugbar ancestor called Dribidu or Banale, what some dialects call Banyale. Dear listener, the point we are trying to underscore here is that in both Ofude and Ofunarwa or Ofunyarwa, the diction for F is the same, but then there is a difference. One is double the F, another one is a single. We take these as received pronunciations. Otherwise, there is no phonetical or grammatical reason for their differentiation. 2. Let us now consider Lugbarati complex combinations. Lugbarati complex combinations involve, as it was mentioned the other day, H, J, N, K, P, G, B, and M, G, B combinations. 1. Complex H combinations. Since we already mentioned this in the earlier introductions, we are just going to pass over it quickly. Complex H combinations indicates the fact that in Lugbarati phonetics, letter H is not commonly used. Only very few words in Lugbarati have it. And another thing to stress is that there is always a need to put an effort to pronounce words which have H, even in languages which are not Lugbarati. For instance, English. One of the most difficult pronunciations for a Lugbara actually is a word in which the consonant H is preceded by another consonant. For instance, TH, DH, SH. In fact, a keen listener will observe that while some of our colleagues in other parts of Uganda, especially Bantu speakers, that some of them have problem with the L and the R, and others have a problem with TH, especially those like from Kigezi, the Bachiga. Some of them pronounce TH as Z. For instance, the word is there, they can say Zea, Zeman, the man. Meanwhile, for us, the Lugara, while we may not have a problem with the LR, we have a problem with TH or SH. Instead of there, we say de. Instead of the man, we say the man. Instead of there, we say there. Or SH, shilling, we say ceiling. The queen of Sheba, we say the queen of Seba. So these are some of the dialectical challenges we have. For us here, one is TH, DH, or SH. And all these stem from the problem of H, which is very scarce in Lugbarati phonetics. 2. The J complex combination. This complexity arises from the fact that in Lugbarati pronunciation, the letter J is never pronounced alone. Each sound is preceded by D, giving rise to two sounds, DJ and DZ. In this book, however, such combinations have been scripted using J alone. This is where the case of ejectives arise in Lugbarati, and it is treated as received pronunciation. By that I mean the way of writing and pronouncing it has been taken generally as the accepted pronunciation, but otherwise beneath it there is D or Z, just like Abeju, or the way Ajumani is written for that matter. Next we have any complex combinations, and under this involved are the combinations any J, any Z, and any Y. The complexities in these arise from Lugbarati generally having any J and any Z sounds. Heterography, that is to say, the same or similar sounds but different spellings. Examples, listen. Anzinyiri, anjinyiri, injita, inzita, injikuru, inzikuru, enjo, enzo. These have given rise to lots of confusion, but there is a general agreement, although it has not been standardized, that while the pronunciations of these combinations involve any J, they should be written with any Z. For instance, while we pronounce anjinyiri, we write anzinyiri with any Z. Similarly, when we pronounce injita respect, it sounds any J, but when written, it should be any Z, injita. The same like proper names, enjama, it is pronounced any J, but when written, it should be any Z, ensama. Injikuru is pronounced any J, but it should be written any Z. Similarly, onjima with the any J, but written onzima with any Z. And finally, enjo, deceit, written enzo. Regarding any Y, it is complex only as a dialectical variance, not as a general pronunciation complexity. This is because while some dialects write this combination without the Y, others do so with it. Example, ana, anya, millet. Anyufi, anufi, bee. Nyanya, nana, tomato. Nyanya biko, nana biko, caterpillar. Anakijo, anyakijo, gizzard. Nabiliko, nyabiliko, scar. And anyara, anara, a parish in Adumi, a derogative for a joker. And the last two complex combinations are the KP, GB, and MGB combinations, which were already discussed in the introduction. So we are not going to go into details of these. Examples of KP include words like pocho pocho, soaked with water, wetted, papa, hurry, haste, pemberekepe, hard and dry surface, kitikpara, a waved tool for sitting. Examples of GB complex combinations include what we mentioned, lobara, banda, or some dialects term banda, borondoa, rebel, belenge, hard and noisy talk, bonyoko, a tall disproportionate figure. Examples of MGB complex combinations, bokolo, we have already mentioned that, and the pungulukupu. So let's not go into details of this since it's already done in the introduction. That marks the end of complex combinations. Next, we shall see combined vowel sounds. But for now, let us highlight some of the points so far seen today. 1. In Lugbarati combinations, certain vowels alone stand as words. For instance, a, stomach, yes, the self. 2. Lugbarati alphabetical combinations do not have closed syllables. That is, a word which has a vowel as initial and consonant as the last letter. 3. Lugbarati alphabetical combinations take the form of consonant-vowel combinations, consonant-vowel combinations. 4. Consonant-vowel combinations can be grouped into two categories as symbol combinations and complex combinations. Symbol combinations have two formats. One involves different consonants and the other involves same consonants that may be doubled or tripled. Example of different consonants: Adamanaka, Naitija, Ngoko, Bak, Ombizoko, Leg, Sea, or Ocean. Examples of same consonant combinations: Ofaka, a sub-county in Arua; Vura, a county in Arua; Ofude, a parish in Maracha; Ada, real, true; Etopi, Liberata; Dora, a type of sorghum; Owafa, trading center; Oluko, sub-county; Ora, a bridge in Vura; Aevu, sub-county Arua; Jila, a parish in Omugo. And you said most of these same consonant combinations have no clear-cut phonetical reasons. Most of them are taken as received pronunciations. 5. Complex combinations. Complex combinations can take the form of H combinations, where the difficulty arises in Lugbara pronunciation, where H is preceded by a consonant. For instance, in English, shilling, chapel, sheba, sharia, shop. Another complex combination is J, where in pronunciation J may be preceded by D or Z, but in written J is written alone. Example: Joloko, remnant, remains or residue; Jirili, ululation, shout of joy; Ojuruko, termite, jorov, nest. Another complex combination is N, where J is preceded by N and Z is preceded by N and Y is preceded by N. Examples of these words are
pronounced as Anjinyiri but written Anzinyiri with his NZ. Injita, respect, written Inzita. Injikuru, without giving respect, negated respect, but written Inzikuru. Enjo, disi, lie, but written with the Z, Enzo. Any complex combination is a matter of dialectical variance. For instance, while some dialects pronounce Nanabiko, caterpillar, others pronounce Nyanyabiko, while others pronounce as Anyakijo, gizzard, others pronounce as Anakijo, gizzard. Next complex combination is the KP, where we have words like pere, pere, pa, pa. Very difficult combinations for non-natives. The last complex combination is the GB and MGB. Examples: Banda, where some dialects prefer Banda; Borondua, rebel; Belenge, hard and noisy talk. Next, we shall see some combined vowel sounds. Thanks for listening. Our for eritasi. Stay blessed.